Ooh, that was caught in the middle. 280? Yes! Welcome back to Mike Torres Golf with your host, Mike Torres. We go to step 2 of the Paradym versus the TSR series. We already did a Paradym versus TSR 2. And now for you TSR nutcases of Titleist, we got to go to the TSR 3. I feel like this is going to be a more even matchup. The reason why I did the TSR 2 video is because people are going to ask that question, where does the standard Paradym fit in? And personally, I feel like the Paradym fits in between the 2 and the 3. Triple diamond fits in with the TSR 4. So that's how we're going to test them. We're going to put these against 2 of the the Paradym versus the TSR 2, but in this video, we're testing it against the TSR 3. So interested to see what the Paradym does against the TSR 3, and then we'll go back to the house and make sense out of it, and that's about it. All right, TSR 3 time. We're gonna go test this bad boy out against the Paradym. First shot. That was striped. That was a great start. Off to a pretty good start with this club already. Carry. See what that does. 367 right down the middle. Oh yeah. Ooh, that was caught in the middle. 280? Yes. Went in on that. So, am I shocked with the TSR? No. We already know the Titleist drivers, they come out every 2 years. You knew there was going to be an upgrade. But I guess the Paradym, I'm interested to see the data on. That was a good hit. I'm interested to see when it hits all over the place for an amateur golfer. Good golfers, if you're like a lower handicap, you're hitting the TSR 3. I just want to see which is more forgiving off a miss hit. It's the TSR 2 Paradym or the TSR 3 Paradym. So, we're going to go measure the TSR 3 now when we go back against the Paradym. That's bomb. Yeah, that's a bomb. 72, playing nice little fade today. It didn't get the turn, but I mean, I think it's a bomb. All right, welcome back to the house. If you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button right now. I do this all the damn time, and I will be doing it every single Wednesday and Sunday at 9 p.m. You'll have a video out with a review, and maybe you get to see some of my videos. Maybe we'll even go golfing. But we are going to go now over the TSR 3 by Titleist versus the Callaway Paradym. Let's get right into the data. We're going to start off with the TSR 3. So I brought this down to I didn't really have to bring anything down, actually. My swing speed was pretty consistent with this club. The one thing I did notice, this club's supposed to be less forgiving than the TSR 2. And the one thing that I did notice with this club is that for a club that's supposed to be less forgiving, it really wasn't that less forgiving. To tell you the truth, I hit this a decent amount, and this ball was still flying. The ball speed's told me an interesting story. Even at 154, I was getting about 270, 158 at 278. So I mean, I was getting good ball speed, but my club speed for me, that's really slow. I saw the smash factor. Smash factors were fantastic across the board. I think I had the 1.41 that was about 267 and a 1.42, but the launch angle on a few of these were pretty good. A little higher than I expected. Talks to me the most with the TSR brand. It did it with the TSR 2 and it does it with the TSR 3. The spin rate with the TSR 3 is right around where I would want my spin rate. I wanted around 2300 to 2350 in that area. 2237, that is a good number. Carry distance, 272.6 with a rollout of 294. There was a difference of feel off of TSR2 versus TSR3. The TSR3, when it hit, and you felt it. It felt different. It felt not a bad different. It just felt different. So when you hit this thing went, and I was very impressed with it. And for me, I want to go directly to the Paradym, and we go over these numbers. So 272.6, 294.4. Club speed with this club was slightly higher by about a mile per hour and a half, 1.5 miles per hour. Ball speed, I was getting a little more ball speed from the Paradym. Smash factor was even, which is good. Club launch angle, dead even. The spin rate, I like the spin rate for both clubs. The one thing I'm going to be honest with, I had more consistency on a spin rate with the TSR3. The carry, yard and a half, 2 yard, 2 yard distance? Yeah, 2 yard distance on the dot. So, again, the Paradym, slightly stronger in the rollout, another about a yard in favor of the Paradym. This is pretty close. Now I understand why everybody was saying the TSR3 is more of a comparison than the actual TSR2 to the Paradym. They hit the same. They exploded the same. I still think the Paradym, off of a solid hit, goes a little further than the TSR3. We get to the dispersion, and this tells me a lot. Now I already knew that the TSR, I was playing a fade. Same thing with the TSR3, but like I said, remember how we always said the TSR2 is really, really forgiving? Is the TSR3 that bad? So that's why I tested the Paradym against both. There is a reason for it. And this tells me a lot. The TSR3 and the Paradym, they can play against each other. I'm going to go into a final analysis, and I'm going to talk through who this is for, how these measure up, and why you should go against one against the other. So when we come back, final analysis. All right, final analysis. TSR3 versus the Paradym. So when hitting these clubs, I was trying to see off of misses because I feel like both those clubs are for better ball strikers. You have to be a good ball striker to play those clubs. They are both forgiving. But I'm going to tell you the comparisons here. Honestly, that the TSR3 was slightly easier to control than the Paradym. I only showed you this data when I started swinging live, but I was also in the simulator beforehand swinging both of these clubs, and I did hit up the Paradym, a few of them in the upper 280s on the when I really caught one. The TSR3, I ended up only getting a few up to the 280 range. And those are both caught square, and the club speeds were pretty similar. So the one thing I will say is the Paradym definitely, I would say, outshines, again, still in distance against the TSR3. But not by much. I'm giving it maybe a few yards, maybe 2-3 yards, 4 yards. I'm going to talk more about how to save you money. Who is this for? Now, I'm going to make the comparison of the TSR3. I remember how we were talking about this last time with the TSR2 and Paradym. The Paradym is meant for kind of a lowish mid handicapper. It is forgiving, but I can also see myself playing this because it's forgiving. But I also can see myself playing a TSR2 over a Paradym because it was really forgiving. So for me, the Paradym would make sense from a distance standpoint if I needed it, because I can absolutely destroy it. But talking about the TSR3, if you notice that dispersion, there was not many off of that center line. And it had distance too. The TSR3 is going to be for the lower handicappers. Lower to, I would say, not even mid. I'm gonna cut this off to about a 4 handicap, 5 handicap, to about 11, 12, where that Venn diagram, I always do the Venn diagram analysis, because there are people that are good ball strikers, but they're stuck with their irons. So If you're like a 4 or 5 handicap and you are just an awful ball striker, the TSR 3 may be better for you than the triple diamond. So I would say that you have to be like a more upper echelon type player to really hone in that. Because I thought about trying the TSR 3, and I consider myself an above average. I have a 5.3 handicap, and I don't play the TSR 3. I would play the TSR 2, which makes more sense to me. The Paradym, I'm going to go back and say it again. This is, again, probably the same exact range as the TSR 3. Actually, I would say they're very similar clubs. You're talking about a 4 to 5 to an 11, 12. I feel like those two clubs are made for the same exact audience, except that if you're playing for more accuracy, the TSR 3 makes a little more sense. For a player like me, I would probably pick the TSR 3 over the Paradym only because it's a little more accurate. If you need to really increase speed, the jailbreak technology of the Callaway Paradym is absolutely no joke. Like there was one on video from one of my old. I put one out on a carry 293. I've never done that. The distance goes to the Callaway Paradym. I would say the slight objectivity of the dispersion showed that the TSR 3 is slightly more accurate. And that's depending on golfer, of course. But for me, I saw it as a little more accuracy. TSR 3, I'm going to say it one more time. TSR 3 and Paradym, they're both for the same audience. You're like probably around a 4 to 5 handicap to about 11 to 12. That is going to be the sweet spot for those clubs. And if distance is a thing and you have the accuracy, get the Paradym. The Paradym's going to give you some extra distance. If you have the distance and you want more accuracy, play the TSR 3. I've hit these clubs so many times now in that simulator where I know what they do. So for me, both of them can be in the bag. They're both great. Titleist took 2 years to make that club, and I'm very happy that it came out the way it is, because for me, I look at it as it's something that maybe I can jump into it. Or I'm still considering the Paradym too. I'm looking at the G430 Max because of accuracy. I think that's the most accurate club on the market right now. That's about it. Other than that, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, because that helps me in the community. And again, these videos are made off of a simple ask in my comments. Hey, Mike, when are you going to come out with a TSR 2 and TSR 3 video against the Paradym? I'd love to see that. Congratulations, here it is. I hope you like it. For me, always put stuff in the comments. I love testing stuff because at the end of the day, I want to make sure it saves you money, because these clubs are fucking expensive. Excuse my language. There's always one F-bomb in my review. But that's about it. Other than that, hope you like the content. Hope you keep coming back. And as all my reviews end, I keep it real.